before you, we asked the board, based upon the information that we had in reference to Ms. Ray's complaint of discrimination by this board, by excluding her as a resident of Silver City and excluding her and depriving her of the basic services that is provided for the town of Silver City. We had again asked that based upon the information that we had received in reference to grandfathering properties into the zone, we were told at the time that because the zoning that you all came up with at the time that Ray had replaced her home, which was burned down, that an ordinance was established to exclude her from putting her home on her property. We have researched the information that you had given us in reference to the ordinance. We have not found by the state of Mississippi laws as far as mobile homes are concerned anywhere. We have taken photographs of Ms. Ray's property. It is not a mobile home. And if you would like to see the photographs, we would be glad to show you those photographs. Because the home sits on a foundation. It has no wheels. It has no tongs in which a trailer could be hooked up to and moved. It is brick around it. So it is the same as a frame home or a brick home that is sitting on a concrete slab. So therefore, her home should not be excluded as far as being able to have services connected to that property. I see that you have a municipal manual over there, and all board members, and I speak to you as a former board member, because I was a member of a board that we had to go by this manual when it comes to government. What you have elected to do, based upon our findings of all of the documents that have been filed in reference to this particular zoning, there are a couple of things that was omitted, and we feel that it was omitted purposely to exclude Ms. Ray's property from being included into the town of Louise. And I would just like to quote from you from the municipal manual as it comes to traditional zoning ordinance in which the board must look at. And in traditional zoning, it says traditional zoning consists of two primary elements. The zoning context, which defines each zone and the condition of its use which are allowed in it, and the zoning map, which locates each zone in the municipality. As long as the zoning ordinance conforms to adopted planning purposes, and this is important, including protection of public health, safety, and welfare. It is considered a legitimate exercise of the basis for police power of the government. But the last sentence in here is very important for this board to really understand in the basis of our complaint. It says, however, there are ways in which that power that has been extended to you under traditional zoning can be abused. And we believe that that power has been abused by this governing body. When you look at the other zoning requirements, it takes us to non-conforming uses and grandfathering provisions. Grandfathering provisions. And it clearly says that even the most flexible zoning ordinance cannot cover all situations that exist when an ordinance is adopted. Some properties will not conform to the zone in which they find themselves. There are several ways to handle the situation, including simply identifying those properties and leaving them as they are. Which means when Ms. Ray's home burned down, her property still existed. When she could afford what she could afford, she put that on her property. She put that on her property. And again, when the zoning occurred, according to what is defined in your municipal manual, when it comes to grandfathering provisions, this board has the authority, based upon that ordinance, and clearly what it says here, that whatever properties existed prior to that ordinance should be left as they are, because some properties cannot conform to that ordinance. So based upon what I've read to you in reference to the ordinances and the authority that this board has to grandfather its way into the town of Silver City, and not to continue to deprive her of the basic utilities for a person to live, which falls under cruel and unusual punishment. To not allow a tax-paying citizen for 12 years who have been paying her taxes faithfully, but yet cannot receive the basic services from his governing body. It is discriminatory in nature, and it is inhumane in the fact that she is entitled to those basic benefits just as you are receiving now. We're prepared to show, if necessary, if we move forward with this complaint without the board's undue and due reasoning in this matter, which is a simple matter to be resolved. And we don't want to take this any further than here. But we are prepared to show with all of the documents that have been filed, all of the running around Ms. Ray had to do in reference to this complaint over the past 12 years, that we will seek compensation in reference to this federal court system, because it is a discriminatory matter. So therefore it must go to the federal system. But we don't want to do that. We come before this board again this evening and ask that you look at the zone according to the state of Mississippi, and according to the authority that you have to change that zoning and grandfather Ms. Ray into the city so that she can receive her service. And if you have any questions in reference to the complaint that's being filed, we will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have, and in reference to any of the documents that we have found in our research during the course of our investigation that complement Ms. Ray's complaint. And we thank you for the time to bring this before you, and at this time, based upon what you've heard so far, and based upon what I've quoted to you, if there are any questions in reference to this matter.
Did y'all go to the Chancellor's clerk's office and look up the court procedure?
No. Because what we've done, we found the court procedure. We found them. We found the ordinance. We found other state law cases that have already been filed in federal jurisdictions that apply to this same matter in other jurisdictions. So therefore, federal judges have already ruled on this kind of discrimination complaint with municipalities, and so therefore, based upon that information and on the judge's ruling, a case precedent has already been set, which means that individuals such as Ms. Ray have already won their suit, and we're using those same suits that have been filed in those federal jurisdictions. We're going to file those same ones because there's already been a ruling, and her case mirrors those cases that have already been filed and already have been won. And so therefore, again, we don't want to have to take it to that level because case precedent is already there.
You've already been through a study from HUD about this way.
I understand, and that is part of one of the documents that we have received from HUD, and because HUD is a federal entity, the documents that we received from HUD, from the board, as well as from HUD, who was the mediator in reference to Ms. Ray's complaint to this board, The documents that I've read clearly indicated from that mediator that this board should try to rectify this problem with Ms. Ray. But at that point, they never got a response back from the board to the mediator and saying whether or not you were going to comply. And because we had saw that document from HUD, that's why we did further investigation and research as to what the court has filed in other municipalities that mirrors what Ms. Ray is going through, and there are court documents that they've already heard. Because what Ms. Ray went through with the board and going up and dealing with Tompkins County, see, that was local. That was local. So therefore, she got to run around in the local court system as well as with the municipality. But it will not be that way if we move forward in the federal system, because we're not going to go back to the same system that was before. Now that we have a case precedent that said this particular municipality violated a person's right without complete documentation to show the reason why they did that. What the board did and what the county did is that they went along with what was said rather than what is actual fact according to the state of Mississippi law when it comes to mobile homes. Mississippi law says with mobile homes, it says that certain areas of a town or municipality may have mobile home parks within the boundaries of the town. If a person have a property and they place a mobile home on that property, as long as that property if that lot is not a rental lot. If it's a rental lot, then that individual who have that mobile home on that rental lot must register that mobile home every year as you do with your tags. That is the state law. That's what the state requires. But when you have your own land and you put that property on your own land, it does not say that it could not be within the town limit. Many have exercised and said that it would drop the value of the existing home. Well, if you look at the existing homes in Silver City, especially adjacent to Ms. Ray's, how could it depreciate the value of that home? Because the home that's next to her is about 70 years old, so it cannot depreciate the value of that particular home. So our research has shown that there has been a disparity against Ms. Ray for simply looking to have a place to live by paying her taxes to the town of Silver City and be able to enjoy electricity, water, sewer, trash pickup just like you all receive. Nothing any different. That's all she had, and that's all that we had. And so, we believe that this is a matter that can be resolved at this point. We really do. Based upon the authority that the board has.
We call it the due process. We're trying to give Leah some options to Ms. Ray, and notice it didn't happen. And we took the court ruled, and for us to do anything, we have to have it from the court. The judge in Warren County, I believe, moved that venue down there. The judge needs to instruct us.
I understand what you're saying.
Along with contempt of court.
Well, you would not be in contempt of court when you were following what the state of Mississippi said, that if
But we followed the laws of the state of Mississippi.
well, you mentioned options, but you didn't mention the option that I just read to you, which is non-conforming uses or grandfather
We
provision.
don't by grandfather, if it's already there, when you pass the ordinance, it stays there, but if you move it, you got to replace it with a structured home.
That's not what the grandfather law says. That's not what the grandfather law says.
That's what it says on the ordinance.
Well,
And if you move it, you can't move it back. it already, if it's been grandfathered in, there's a trailer sitting there, and you move it off, you cannot move it back.
Here's what it says. Non-conforming buildings are usually eliminated by allowing them to be either enlarged, expanded, or if damaged over a certain period, rebuild or replace. Rebuild or replace. If the non-conforming usage is discontinued for a specific period of time, it usually may not be resumed. But hers was immediate, not over a period of time. I'm reading to you what it says.
But I'm saying, we took it to the court, and the court decided that Ms. Ray could move it.
Again, I want to speak to you from a fellow board member who had to understand what my duties were as a board member. And the board have the authority. The board have the authority because you are the governing body. You have the authority to revise this. You. And then you must then, since the court said we revise this according to non-conforming uses and grandfathering provisions. That's all that is required.
Well, I can't speak for everybody here, but I would like to see the judge instruct us on what his intent is. If he says do that, fine. If he says no, then we're right where we are now.
Okay.
I'm saying that I want to stay on the legal side of all of it.
I understand it. One last question. To the board members. Do each of you, and have each of you really read the municipal manual that you're supposed to be governed by, that tells you what your authority is? And do you know exactly?
There's a state.
Yes.
It's a state.
Oh yeah, because the state of
But it's
Mississippi
not.
requires every elected official, once they are elected, that they must go through two courses. One course is through the municipal governing body, which tells you which tells you the do's and don'ts and the responsibility of you as an elected official to the public. The second requirement that the state requires you to do in a month, because if you don't go through the training during the first 3 years that you're elected to the office, you cannot sit on the seat. And that is the rural water management training for all elected officials, which also tells you, which governs your rural water management system, and lets you know that you are the one who is the rural water management for your town, and that you must know each and everything that is required by your operator and your manager. That is required by Mississippi state law. And if you all haven't gone to it, then you can't understand what I'm saying. But you must go to these trainings, and you must know what your duties and responsibilities are, because you as a board have the authority to make changes necessary for the general public, the voters, the taxpayers of the town. I went through it. I understand everything that the law says. I understand everything that it says in reference to governing a municipality. We're just here to answer, look, just be reasonable, and if you don't know what your duties and responsibilities are as a board that is governing the town of Silver City, the responsibilities to the taxpayers and the voters, it creates growth, because what you're suggesting is that we go back to a process in the local area, and what I'm saying is that we're not gonna go back through that process here, because we're gonna follow that federal court, and we will judge based upon what they have already ruled on when it comes to discrimination against minorities, because they are minorities, and because of the fact that you simply don't want them in the community, it is not going to stand. It will overrule your local judge's decision.
Every
And
time.
I know this because we have filed 2 separate suits against other municipalities and have won them both based upon discrimination.
No one can stop anyone from filing a suit.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You can
That's,
file suits for anything.
that's why the Constitution says that the municipalities have a right to sue and have a right to be sued. And have a right to be sued. Yes, you are bonded, and you are only bonded for so much. But once that bond is cleared and ruling is handed down, then you must realize that then Ms. Ray can then come back and sue each one of you individually. That's law. That's law. Like I said, we don't want to take it to that point.
Yeah, we just acted to let the judge that we already have it make a decision.
Okay.
See what it's based on.
Okay, but we would not be going through the judge that handle it. It would be a totally different system. And the federal judge don't care who you are, they don't care where you live, they don't care what contact you have, because they're going to go by the facts as we lay before them, and our facts are going to be accurate. They're going to be accurate to the T. And when we present the information that we have in here, and that you all as board members to suggest that we'll leave it up to the law attorney or leave it up to the judge, because when you get into a system as being a former law enforcement officer, ignorance of the law is no excuse for criminal behavior. You can sit there and say if you didn't know, it doesn't matter. You are in a position of authority that you're supposed to know. And you're supposed to have due diligence in your decision making when it comes to taxpayers' dollars and when it comes to taxpayers' issues. And by not doing that, you're in violation. And we will see this to the hilt. We will let you go all the way to the federal courts, because we're not going to stop. And if you continue to want to use that, when you get to the federal system, that the judges already did this, or the judges already said that, they're not going to want to hear it. They don't care. Because we're going to make sure that we're going to show that you discriminated against Ms. Ray for 12 years, and her coming up here and paying her taxes every year, and you all won't even let her get water hooked up. It's ridiculous. It's a shame. You got a taxpayer sitting for 12 years paying her taxes, coming up here voting every year. She deserved water. She deserved water. She deserved sewer. She deserved electricity. And why won't you give it to her? All because you're saying you want us to go back up to the judge?